Welcome back to one of the shortest intros ever. You're listening to part 2 of a 2-part special, The Master Cleanse, here on Off Topic with Matthew East. You heard a lot of data, a lot of informational stuff, mostly from the studio in part 1. Part 2 is going to be mostly phone video clips, as well as screenshots of data directly off my Garmin watch. You're going to get to experience more of the victorious side, the completion side, the accomplishment side, as we press on here into the finale that sums this all up and encourages you to go embark on this journey for yourself. Enjoy the episode. Here we go. Wow, we're halfway there. Wow, living on a prayer. I don't sing much, but we are halfway there. 7 days down. And feels pretty good. All right, here we go for the day 7 weigh-in. Halfway there, living on a prayer, right? Bon Jovi. Interested how this is going to go today, honestly, Earthlings, because weight loss between days 3 and 5 wasn't quite as much as I expected. So let's see what day 7 brings. Wow, that's only a half a pound. 218.6 to 218.2 in 2 days, drinking nothing but lemonade. It's the only calories I've been consuming. I mean, think about that. That's wild. The other thing I want to report to you guys is that I woke up this morning unsettled and having some negative feelings about some stuff unrelated to the cleanse, totally unrelated, but are the feelings unrelated, you know? Because not all feelings are rational all the time. Sometimes we have to acknowledge the external stresses that are going on in our life that might cause us to respond to other things differently. Good life lesson, honestly. But I was trying to come up with a word, you know, and stressed wasn't accurate. Angry, for sure, not accurate. Anxious, not quite right. But the word I settled on is bothered. I'm just bothered today by the negative stuff in the background of my life. And I hope and believe that that's a side effect of what I'm going through. We talked about in some of the other snippets here in this episode, side effects, you know, this being a mental and a physical exercise. That is something that is real. And, I'm going to try to get over it today. I'm going to try to recognize it for what it is, external, and get the win with respect to how I approach the rest of this day and the rest of this cleanse. We'll see you in the studio. Enough for now. I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about the naysayers. If you Google the Master Cleanse, you are going to get a description of how to do it. And then if it's on a medical website of any kind, you're going to get a doctor telling you that there is no need for it, that the body cleanses itself, and that it's dangerous, and that it's a bad way to lose weight, which it's not a great way to lose weight. You're going to gain some of the weight back. But the other thing that happens, remember, this is my 3rd time doing this, is that you go through this cleanse, and even if the kind of weight that you lose is going to come back when you refill your belly, you're also going to lose regular weight. And the 3rd thing that's going to happen is your stomach is going to shrink in the span of the 14 days that you are not eating. First you get hungry, then that goes away, then you start not eating, then you're in cruise control, and even though it's not fun, you're not consuming the food that is normally filling this part of your body. And that little stomach down there is going to get a little bit smaller. And if you can use that to stop eating when you get full after the cleanse, you're going to start losing healthy weight as well. I've seen it happen. It's going to happen to me again, and it's going to be awesome. So that's part of it. But these doctors that say, yeah, your body cleanses itself, it's a terrible way to lose weight, it's dangerous, I don't see how it's dangerous. The book addresses a couple of scenarios where you're not supposed to do it, and it has to do with certain health conditions, very specific. There's like 2, I think. But in general, this process solves health problems. A lot of testimonials in the book, at least the second one, Woloshin. Is that his? I'm trying to remember his name now. Just pull it up real quick so I don't misquote it. Tom Woloshin. I got it right. He gives case studies, a lot of different medical mystery type situations where whatever the doctors are trying isn't working. But why do the doctors say no? Why are you getting that? I'm going to give you 2 words, Earthlings, and it's real freaking simple. Watch this get like zapped from space somehow. Big Pharma. They got a drug for everything. I'm going to tell a quick story. I watch sports on TV a lot, and I have both the international Sky Sports stuff that's over in Europe, and then I've got the American stuff. A lot of times you can get the same programming. If one's not coming through, the other one might work better, or sometimes this one's just more fun. But their commercials, it opened my eyes this year during like football playoffs and stuff like that when they were showing all the games over there in Europe as well. They don't have, they have like cruise ship vacation commercials and like, I don't know, car commercials where they actually talk about the cars instead of your feelings. They do all kinds of cool, normal shit over there in Europe. But what they don't have is 2 out of 5 or worse pharmaceutical commercials every damn commercial break that you see. We are messed up over here, and that is the motivation, Earthlings, behind what you're hearing from the doctors about the Master Cleanse. So take it with a grain of salt, just like you do your saltwater flush. It's not real.
All right. Well, I just got back from my second 4-mile run of the cleanse. Today is day 7. You probably on the podcast just heard me weigh in this morning. And the reason I'm doing this one's not because I planned on it. It's just as cold. Actually, it's not just as cold. It's chilly. It's about 37 degrees, 9 or so degrees warmer than it was 3 days ago when I ran on day 4. But the reason I'm reporting to you is because I feel great today. I think it says something about body maybe adaptation and kind of customization to the life of which you're living. A lot of us think we can't do things because we haven't done them before. And we can, you know, it's real, the ability to push yourself and create new normals. So for me, this new normal is, you know, it is temporary. I don't intend to drink fresh squeezed lemonade concocted to cleanse my body for beyond these 14 days. In many ways, I am still miserable, and I did report some, I don't know, mental struggles this morning to you that are very real. But this helped too. That's the other thing. Exercise is awesome. The endorphins, the good release of the hormones and things that power your body, also power your mind, helps you overcome obstacles. And so 4 miles, 4.27, I think is what I did today. I did a little bit longer route. Here's a screenshot of that for you. But it's pretty cool to know that you can win even in the middle of something that you're doing that might be arduous or difficult. It's like the sunset at the top of the mountain on a hike. But yeah, good day today as the day progresses. Still right in the middle of this thing. Lots more to do, lots more to say. But just wanted to say hello and finish this lemonade here. I'm going to go ahead and stir it up, pour it in this glass because it's prettier. I don't know if there's anything pretty about this drink, but happy hump day for me. See you in the studio.
And Shazam! Just like we promised, here we are back in the studio, but not for long. The majority of the remainder of this part 2 of the Master Cleanse special is going to be from phone videos that I'm going to share with you that I took along the way between about days 10 of the cleanse and day 16, a couple days or so into my recovery phase, after which I then returned to normal food. I've been on normal food now for almost a week, so spoiler alert, I don't die. And I don't even appear all that miserable as we go through the rest of it. But I did survive, and I do feel fantastic. And the videos are going to do a better job than me sitting here where the majority of the podcasting happens for normal episodes, if you're there living it with me and hearing from me along the way. But I wanted to touch on a few things first, which is why we're back. Stuff the videos don't cover. The first of which is the double dose of laxative tea that I took on night 1. Such a horrible story that I relayed to you about how I felt, what that did to me. I did do the double dose 2 or 3 more times throughout the cleanse later on because I suspected that the horrible feelings physiologically I was going through was not the tea itself, but what the tea was loosening inside my body. And I was, in fact, proven correct. Very, very benign the next couple times I did it and did its job the way it was supposed to do as thoroughly as it could. There was just very little left in there for purging. Therefore, the physiological impact was much less significant. If that's the case, by the way, if as bad as I felt that first night was because of the stuff inside me was getting loosened up and demanding to get removed, think of what that's doing to you when you don't know it's there over time. You know, so many of these testimonials that Woloshin talks about in his book, inexplicable problems inside the body that medicine is having trouble with, just resolved by this cleanse. That toxins and things, whether it be on the macro level in your bowels or the micro level on the cellular level of your body, getting that stuff out is a really great idea, whether, you know, Big Pharma wants you to know about it or not, like we talked about it before. So that's a pretty big thing that I was able to prove. The laxative tea is good stuff. What it was taking out is the bad stuff, and it did its job, and all that worked great as we went forward. The next thing is alkalinity. That's a subject that I had questions about, just ponderous, because Woloshin talks about alkalinity as the healthy side of you know, the base acid scale. Well, I do another thing that helps alkalinity, which is Wim Hof's breathing. If you know Wim, he's the super health guy, the cold plunge guy, the breathing guy, the guy that climbed Everest in like shorts and a t-shirt due to the mental control he found in his life, the discipline stuff that he was able to teach himself that he's now sharing with the world. His breathing methods promote alkalinity, and I've been doing those for a really long time. And I was very interested if this cleanse, which also creates alkalinity inside you, would complement my breathing and create some longer breath holds. Really cool results attached to that are in the videos that you're going to hear about as we proceed forward in the episode. So pay attention to that. Pretty cool to see how your body responds to that. You're going to hear about my breathing as well as how my runs went toward the end of the cleanse, which is pretty freaking awesome. Last but not least, Earthlings, I'm not patting myself on the back, but I want to talk about demeanor for just a second. You're going to see in the videos a fairly upbeat and outgoing Matthew East. And the reason for that is because I don't want to be a bummer on camera or at this microphone. But it's not because I was feeling fantastic all the time. Certain things were profound and astounding and amazing, and you get to hear about those. But there's a lot of this that really truly does suck. The 14 days of lemonade. And by the way, 10 is the standard in the book. I did 14. I think I've said 14 a couple times. 10 is a great place to start. I think a 14 is not that much more, but it was a 40% increase on something that's really, really hard. That's a lot. So 10, but my 14, not all that pleasant. And the idea that you can take something, anything that's going on in your life that might not be all that pleasant and still give the world the best version of yourself is something that I wanted to talk about, because this is like a micro example of much bigger things where this idea might apply, but kind of understand that you don't have to give the world whatever negativity that you're carrying. You can keep a lot of that to yourself. Go talk to a therapist or whatever, but give the world your best self. It's worth it. And you know, whether you think the world deserves it or not, you tend to put that stuff out there. It also tends to come back to you. Day 10 of my story begins now because we missed day 9's weigh-in completely, and the recording of day 10's weigh-in is lost as well. But that weight is referenced in there, 115.2, 215.2. 115.2. That's what I want the girls I date to weigh. It's like half of me. Well, not now, because I lost the weight. Go Master Cleanse. But we do the weigh-in on day 10, and we progress forward with the videos. You're going to get to see all kinds of cool stuff. Me at the end of my runs, you're going to get to experience some of the sights and sounds of the cleanse. The sounds being a really significant part of the saltwater flush that I document for you. You're going to get to hear that from top to bottom. Don't worry, that's the way we keep it modest. I'm not going to show you anything. But you're going to enjoy this stuff. Finish this thing with me, Earthlings, and we'll be back to wrap it all up at the end. Enjoy. All right. It's mid-afternoon on day 10 of the Master Cleanse. If I produce this the way I think I'm going to, you may have just listened to me weigh in this morning. 215.2. So I've lost about 8.5 pounds in the 10 days that I've been doing this so far. That's not bad. It's less than a pound a day. It's kind of a controlled thing. That's a high rate if you're doing a diet where you're eating food, but not as high as you might think doing something like this with the grade B maple syrup being the only thing that is caloric in my body. Crazy. Incidentally, guys, whatever your fitness level is, you're probably better than me. You know, maybe you run 10Ks, but if your exercise is a walk to the mailbox every day, don't think you can't do the Master Cleanse because you can't do a 4-mile run in the middle of the Master Cleanse. Whatever you do is what you need to maintain, and maybe even try to do a little bit better at, or understand that when you're done with the cleanse, you're going to try to do a little bit better. Because on that note, anything that I'm reporting to you about my degradation in my physical ability, strength at the gym, the runs being a little more heavy, that kind of stuff, I know because it's the third cleanse I've done, that when I start consuming regular calories again, my body is going to be processing that food so efficiently and so well that the energy is going to be increased. The strength is going to be increased from previous. So don't take these degradation reports as something I'm doing to myself permanently. This is just a side effect of what's happening with the cleanse process, and not long term. So that is what it is. Brought you in the kitchen one last time just to show you that we're getting close to the end. In the waste category, though, this is why we're in here. We got the recycle bin full of crushed water bottles, and you can see a couple of the dark maple syrup, the grade B maple syrup jugs in there. And then this is a lemon bag. This is the real, I don't know, star of the show for this little clip. Those are lemon peels. Those are not lemons, and that is a lot of lemons. Those are the pucks that come out of the juice squeezer. They look like this. When you squeeze the juice out of them. And there's a whole lot of them ready to get thrown away. So I wanted to get them videoed before I take the trash out. Fortunately, it's chilly enough, wintertime, and this kitchen is the least insulated room in the house, so nothing's going bad or anything like that. But they are going to have to get thrown away. I wanted to show you before I did that, you guys. Okay, so this is day 11, Earthlings, and we're going to see about strength because I feel pretty good today. But let's see where we're at. All right, whoop-de-freaking-do. You just watched me do a completely out of context 4 reps at 225, having no idea what that means, so I figured I'd hop in and tell you real quick. Normally my sets are about 6, so I did lose a couple of reps, but on the minimalist lemonade diet that I've been on for 11 days at this point, I was pretty pleased. All right, it's day 12, coming in for the weigh-in this morning. See how we're doing on this front. We were weighing in on odd-numbered days, but I missed day 9. Went from 7 to 10, so now we're doing 12. All right. $213.6. Another 2 days gone, and another 1.5 pounds lost. That seems to be about the pace. Actually, 213.6 started at 223.6, right? So here we are, 11 days and a night
behind us and double-digit weight loss, 10 pounds exactly.
All right, I keep forgetting, Earthlings, that I want to document the old saltwater flush so that you guys can see it. I've actually already put 1 teaspoon in. There's number 2. And the 3rd teaspoon, this is bottled water that I have warmed up just above, so that it feels warm, so that the salt can dissolve. The 3 teaspoons go in, and again, really make sure that the salt hasn't just sunk to the bottom, because it's really disgusting to drink when it's down there. But the salt being dissolved and the quart of water, I'm going to fast forward this part when I stick this into the podcast, but then here we go, down the hatch. We've fed the river at the top, waiting for it to come out the bottom. Woohoo! All right, the next part of this is pretty fun, is listening to the river. I just thought it'd be cool to share with you the sounds of what a nice, clean, saltwater flush sounds like in a completely empty, unobstructed digestive system. Isn't that crazy? All right, and last but not least, we're going to do this as super modestly as possible. No fear, have no fear. You're not going to get grossed out. The water just kind of flows when it's there, and when it's gone, it stops. So we're going to just sort of do like this and give you guys a listen. Not much different than pouring water out of a pitcher into your sink. And that's because, again, the system is pretty clean. You start off early in the flush, and there's a lot more to go. More stuff than salt water, probably, in those early days. And as you go on, you realize there's not much left to flush, and the water just comes out like a faucet. It's gone, and you've got evidence of a nice, clean system. All right, I wasn't going to do a video right now, but I just got back from my 4th and final run. I'll show you guys the run real quick here on the side of the screen. And I felt fantastic. And all I have to say about that is that I think the body's methods of adapting to what you're doing are just phenomenal. You know, it's amazing to see what's going on with my body in this. Another indicator of this, and I'll talk about this from the studio, is the alkalinity of your body and how it's healthy to be on the alkaline side versus the acidic side of neutral in your body. I have read in the book that that's a thing with the cleanse, and I was curious as to whether or not that would impact my Wim Hof breathing, because Wim talks about your body becomes alkaline when you do the breathing, which allows you then to be more efficient, hold your breath longer. I broke a record this morning, Earthlings, that I was hoping I could report to you. And again, we'll talk about it from the studio. 3 minutes and 38 seconds. I was thinking maybe I'd get over 3:30. I hadn't talked about it yet. It was creeping up while I did this cleanse. I just exploded it. When I finished my run, I was breathing with the most freedom. The last half mile or so, I just felt the air coming in and going out, and there was no resistance. It was incredible. And then I just looked at this chart. I'm going to show you this chart, and you don't know what this means, but more often than not, just because what the app thinks my body is supposed to do healthily, I see about 80 to 85% of my run up in that zone 5 red heart rate. And it doesn't concern me because I'm physically fit and I know that heart rate's okay for me. But to see the fact, look at the percentages there. My heart rate is in zone 4. for like a solid, less than half, but, just short of half. I'll have to look at the numbers. And this isn't going to sound very good in the podcast because I don't know the exact numbers. But yeah, I just clicked over and took a quick look at it. That is, 15 minutes in zone 4 and 21 minutes in zone 5. That's 3 minutes short of 50-50. And I'm used to seeing that whole thing up there in that zone 5 area. So this whole health thing, the evidence side of this with the breath holds being just leaps and bounds above. I had a few 3-minute breath holds, 3 minutes and a couple seconds were my records, and I'm at 3:38 in 13 days. And then to feel as good as I feel today, the body having adapted, I'm excited to come off this thing. I want a cheeseburger so bad. It's driving me crazy. But to understand what's happening here, nothing but that lemonade for 13 days, and I'm seeing these amazing bodily benefits even before the end of the cleanse when I start returning to a normal diet. It's unbelievable. That represents the first calories I will consume other than grade B maple syrup in 2 full weeks. The glass of orange juice I'm holding. As I walk in here to the living room to sit down represents victory, accomplishment. It's so rewarding. It's so great. I just finished my final breath hold, influenced purely and completely, by this master cleanse that I've completed. I just held my breath on the final round of my breathing session for 3 minutes and 48 seconds. That's an earth-shattering record for me. Before the cleanse, I was doing really well. I had broken the 3-minute barrier a handful of times. But to make over 45 or about 45 seconds of progress in a 14-day period, the alkalinity of my body confirmed is just so satisfying. I hope you can see it in my face, hear it in my voice, and it's time for the reward. Oh my God. It's so good. I don't even like orange juice that much. All right, we are off the master cleanse. Full recovery, 3 days, orange juice, soup broth, and then full soups and vegetables. And I just got on the scale to check my recovery weight, or my recovery phase complete weight. 208.0 for those of you not watching the video. I fumble around with the idea of what I was trying to get across here, so I'm going to go ahead and dub over the top of it. But the real surprise is the fact that now that I've got food back in my bowels and in my system, that the weight continued to go down for just a little while during that recovery phase. That was pretty interesting. Back over to my phone microphone. But this is my breakfast this morning. I'm pretty excited about it, so I'm going to share it with you. Omelet, bacon, yogurt, juice, the whole deal. Body's going to process this super efficiently. I'm going to feel great. This might be the last video that's not from the studio. And as we draw this thing to a close, there's really only one question we need to ask, and I'm asking it of myself for you. Was it worth it? Fuck yes. I haven't been super humorous in this one. We haven't done the alter ego thing, but at the end of the day, I'm still me. This has been special 2 episodes. It's been fun to make. The cleanse wasn't fun, but I'm not going to pontificate here. I'm just going to give you the data from the end here. I'm about 2.5 weeks removed from the cleanse right now as we conclude these episodes. And here's what happened. 15.5 pounds lost from the beginning of the cleanse to coming back to real food. I've gained about 5 of that back. I'm in the low 200 teens, right at my fighting weight, about 10 pounds lighter than I was when I started the whole thing. And I feel freaking fantastic. Strength, you lose that kind of weight that fast, you're drinking only that stuff, it's going to go down. You saw me do 4 reps on day 11 of the cleanse. I was normally repping 6, sometimes 7, down to 4. I went down to 2. So be ready for it. But understand you're going to get it back. I'm back to 3 to 4 reps. I did 15 total reps today over a handful of sets, and the strength is coming back a little slower. I am 10 years older than I was last time I did this, so that's probably part of it. But the benefits on the inside are worth the sacrifice on the outside, even if you've got other things going on. If you can afford to do it and experience the dip and the return, that's going to be 100% worth it. Last but not least is the up that just stayed up, and that is the alkalinity. I've been holding my breath during my Wim Hof breathing in my last breath hold of every session for well over 3.5 minutes consistently. And it's 2.5 weeks later. And I've been eating cheeseburgers and apple pie and all kinds of stuff. That's the other thing. I didn't do a big philosophical life change. You can. It's not me. I know what I need. I know I've done what I wanted to do, and now I'm letting myself live again. So fuck it. I don't know. But those breath holds, 344 this morning. You know, that alkalinity, that health that's inside of me that is holding and maintaining steady, 100% worth it. So with all that said, get Tom Woloshin's book, Woloshin. And if you do Master Cleanse Woloshin, you're going to find it. It's the only book. It's about 200 pages, so here's the shortcut. Everybody loves shortcuts, right? Just read chapter 5. It's the last chapter in part 1. And then part 2. That's how to do the cleanse, what to expect, all the stuff you need to know. Woloshin's a little kooky. I'm gonna warn you. He's got some very interesting ideas about some stuff that I'm not sure I buy into. There's a little philosophical stuff early in the book, and then there's a bunch of testimonials at the end of the book that are cool, but that you don't need. You can just get into the meat of that chapter 5 and part 2 and get what you need out of it. Everything else is at your discretion. Buy the book, read it. It's $2.99, I think, on Amazon electronically. And it'll take you on a journey that you'll never forget. And then call in and let me know how it went, man. I'd love to hear from you, and we'll talk about it. You know, we're going to move forward with this thing. It's going to get more interactive as we go, but I appreciate your time and attention and your investment in this. I encourage you to do hard things for yourself. It's worth it. And with that, we'll sign off, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. All right, Earthlings, thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking with me. And if you made it this far, why not take it a step further and give me a quick subscribe? I'm going to show you energy, diversity. We're going to make you smile and laugh and think in this rebirth of Off Topic. You can reach out if you've got ideas for the podcast at eastofftopic@gmail.com, or you can call and leave a message at 864-432-3379. Take a screenshot, write it down, replay it, whatever you got to do. But reach out. I'd love to hear from you. This is Matthew East signing off, and we'll see you next time.